Wow, after such a long time we finally get another One Piece chapter that made us emotional. And not just that, I'm sure many readers shed a tear during this one. The chapter starts with flashbacks to Robin's past. These scenes offer a fresh perspective on the events in Ohara. We see how Spandine blames Robin for the destruction of the marine ships and how she is hunted by the inhabitants. This makes it even clearer just how harsh Robin's childhood really was, and these scenes were particularly emotional. Robin reading a book about the history of Ohara in a bookstore shows her long bond with Ohara, a bond that will persist even into the future. Then there's a heartbreaking scene of Robin searching for food in a trash bin, being treated like a dog and nearly jumping off a cliff before being stopped by her mother Olivia's words, "Live, Robin, you must survive." These flashbacks are not only emotional but also highlight how the world hunted Robin as a monster. Despite all these setbacks, she never gave up on her dream of uncovering the true history of the world. This is true strength. I believe Robin's story can inspire many people in our world. Perhaps that was even Oda's intention. I think there are many who struggle with such thoughts, and seeing a role model like Robin is simply motivating and heart-wrenching. Now let's move on to the arrival at Elbaf, which is a technological marvel. Back in the present, the Straw Hat crew is welcomed to Elbaf, an island far more gigantic and impressive than we could have imagined. The scene begins with a massive flying ship floating on island clouds. The technology and climate of Elbaf are fascinating, featuring rainbows, floating clouds, and even technological wonders like Kawa technology. The crew reacts in various ways. Usopp, of course, is absolutely thrilled and shouts, "Look at this! This is incredible." Lilith, who appears in the middle of the chapter, explains that Elbaf has found a perfect balance between nature and technology. It's also cool that she's still part of the story alongside Vegapunk, commenting on the events. She might even end up joining the Straw Hat crew. We also meet Hyruddin and his crew, the new giant warrior pirates, who welcome the Straw Hat's crew. Interestingly, Hyruddin states that they do not wish to be subordinate to anyone but act out of their own free will. But let's move on to the most emotional part of this chapter, and perhaps even the last 100 chapters, the return of Yagwali Zaul, an incredible emotional reunion. The central moment of the chapter is undoubtedly Robin's reunion with Saul. For years we have wondered if Saul was still alive, and now we finally have the answer. However, he is heavily scarred from the events in Ohara. Saul has burns and scars that serve as a reminder of the day Ohara was destroyed. Robin is overwhelmed with emotion as she runs to Saul, exclaiming, "I missed you so much, Saul." Saul responds with his iconic laugh, "Dereshishishi." But it's not just an emotional reunion. Saul also speaks about the events in Ohara and how Vegapunk's technology helped preserve Ohara's knowledge. He explains that while the flames that destroyed Ohara left him with scars, they couldn't break his will, and that's what makes him a true man. We are also introduced to more details about the ancient relics in the giant city of Elbaf. After reuniting with Saul, Robin and the Straw Hats crew visit two impressive locations on Elbaf: the Warrior Spring and the Owl Library. The spring is described as so gigantic that it looks like a sea with waterfalls cascading from colossal tree masts. Even Nami says this is basically a lake, but it looks like a beach. Saul explains that the Owl Library is one of the most significant historical sites, housing ancient books and documents that could reveal parts of the lost history of the world. This means we even have books from Ohara containing crucial information about the world. Oda shows us once again that Elbaf will be an arc where we learn a lot about history, and I'm already excited to find out what kind of books existed in Ohara and what made Ohara so dangerous to the woke government. I think we will learn more soon, perhaps in the next chapters. At the end of the chapter we have one final emotional flashback. Shortly before the chapter concludes, we see another flashback from Robin's childhood. In this scene she is crying and desperately asking, "Why should I live? Why must I endure? In the present, Robin embraces Saul, and this moment symbolizes how far she has come. She has not only found friends but also begun to make peace with her past. The chapter ends with an emotional, heartwarming moment as the entire Straw Hat crew celebrates Robin's reunion with Saul. Luffy and Zoro laugh, while Jinbei comments on how special this moment is. Everyone else in the chapter is in tears except for the monster trio, Zoro, Luffy and Jinbei, who of course must stay cool. And one question I keep asking myself is, who's Nico Robin's father? Despite so many years with Nico Robin in the Straw Hat crew, we still have no information about her origins or which part of the One Piece world she comes from. There are theories suggesting that Rox D. Zebek could be Nico Robin's father, but there are no hints to support this. Some people even theorize that Monkey D. Dragon could be Robin's father, making Robin and Luffy siblings. And believe me, these theories are very complicated. There is even a theory that Monkey D. Dragon is actually Zebek's son and not originally from Garp's family, with Garp having adopted him. If Nico Robin were Dragon's daughter, she would also belong to Zebek's lineage. But there is no evidence for this. It's just a popular and widespread theory. Perhaps Oda will decide not to reveal Robin's father at all because it may not hold much relevance in the grand scheme of things. After all, we don't know both parents of several characters. Not even for Luffy, the main character, we don't know who his mother is. That said, there is still much to explain before we learn who Nico Robin's father is. However, it could very well be that Nico Robin carries the D in her name. This will also explain her deep connection to Saul, who's also a D, and to Ohara. This would add even more intrigue to the One Piece world. And since she is the one of the last or perhaps the very last person who can read the poneglyphs and uncover history, it would be fitting for her to be a D, and let's hope she is one, but that's a topic for another time. This chapter is an emotional masterpiece. It combines the tragedy of Robin's past with the hope and progress of the present. The reunion with Saul is especially unforgettable for fans. What are your thoughts of this chapter? What touched you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Peace.